This might be the weirdest mouse I've ever used, and I actually ended up falling in love with it, depending on what I'm doing. What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're talking about the Razer ProClick V2 Vertical, a mouse that ditches that traditional top-down grip that you see on most other mice on the market and instead leans into what I like to call the Lego grip. And yes, it's weird at first. Now we'll get back to the feel in a minute, but I think it's important to first establish what this mouse really is, because even Razer themselves are talking about this differently than they talk about any other mainstream gaming peripherals they put out. On the landing page for this thing, productivity is front and center. Elevated ergonomics, peak performance, boost your comfort and productivity with our wireless vertical ergonomic mouse. But the next line changes things up. Work and play all day without strain thanks to its natural fit and AI tool shortcuts. Yes, I said AI. We will get back to that too. But for now, the big thing here is that this clearly isn't a mouse that's designed solely with gaming in mind, even though Razer is most commonly known as a gaming peripheral company. But it's also not leaving gaming completely out of the equation, because even further down the page, you've got callouts around the DPI with the ability to switch between work and gaming. And the emphasis on work and gaming plays a big part in my overall thoughts on this thing. But first, let's get back to that design, because the Razer ProClick V2 Vertical Edition is packing that vertical design that Razer is calling a handshake posture, or that I call how it would feel to hold your mouse at an angle. Specifically, this design is at a 71.7 degree angle with a nice curvature on each side for your thumb and your palm to rest on naturally. Overall, super comfortable layout. And then when it comes to the buttons, it's got a 6-button layout with your standard left click, right click, and middle click with a scroll wheel, plus 2 macro buttons near the thumb rest that you can set to be whatever you want. Now, by no means is this an MMO mouse, but for what this mouse is trying to be, a productivity focused workhorse that can also do some gaming, that's going to be more than enough to get the job done for most people. But there is the 6th button as well, the dedicated DPI button on top that you can use to toggle between your different DPI sensitivities. And yes, it's also an AI button. The way this button works is that a short press toggles between your different DPI settings, but a long press is basically a shortcut that opens up a Razer AI prompt master that can quickly rewrite text, generate email drafts, make images, the usual AI stuff. Now, is this useful? Potentially. I think I'd put this in the bucket of everything has AI now, and even for the AI power users, Razer is effectively inserting themselves as a middleman between your prompt and whatever service you like to use. Out of the box, they've got Copilot and ChatGPT. But hey, if you want to ignore all of the AI stuff altogether, that's no problem. Just think of this as the DPI button and then change that long click to be a shortcut for whatever you want. Another keyboard macro, another command, it's totally up to you. The AI stuff is not forced in by any means. Now, the hardware is also packing a couple of other notable features. You can connect up to 5 different devices at once. That's 1 wired connection, 1 wireless connection, and 3 Bluetooth connections. And thanks to the toggle button on the bottom, it's easy to swap between each one. Now, Razer also claims this mouse has a 6-month battery life under standard test conditions, which is wild and also probably a little bit of a stretch for normal people. But that said, it does have good battery life. Between the day job and content creation, I've been using this mouse for upwards of 12 hours a day. I charged it 4 days ago, and as I'm putting this video together, it's sitting at 67%. So all in all, good battery life. If you extrapolate that out, you're going to be able to get more than a week of constant use out of this thing, no problem. 6 months, allegedly, but not the way that I've been using it. Of course, everything Razer runs through their software, Razer Synapse, and the ProClick V2 Vertical is no exception. And here you can change those macros, set different DPI sensitivities that you can cycle through, and change the lighting, because you can't have a Razer product without the RGB lighting. It's packing 18 zone lighting with 16.8 million colors per zone that can also sync up with Razer's library of supported games or be set to whatever you prefer. It's a nice accent touch, but a very minimal part of the appearance overall, which is the way that it's probably meant to be for something like this, in my opinion, that's not meant to be drawing a ton of attention. But the biggest feature for me, especially for a mouse that's focused on productivity, is app profile and automatic profile switching. If you're playing a game, Synapse will automatically change to your preferred layout each time without you having to do anything, which has been great for my editing workflow in DaVinci Resolve. My default profile has the top button as F and the bottom button as R. That's what I've always set for my side buttons on almost every mouse that I've ever used for melee and reload because of the FPS games that I play. But then for editing, I set the bottom button to be a cut shortcut and then the top button to be delete, so that I can slice and dice footage without having to move off of my mouse or just use keyboard shortcuts with my left hand. That, combined with how natural it feels to use my thumb to trigger those shortcuts, absolutely speeds up my editing time. And once you get over that initial hurdle of this thing just feeling different compared to other mouse models that are out there, it really does feel fantastic for productivity. But then we get to the gaming side, which is where I think that this mouse doesn't do as well. I'm not going to beat around the bush. If you are looking at this mouse for gaming, gaming, as in you are going to spend 80% of your time with this gaming and 20% doing other stuff, editing, writing, browsing, then this is not the mouse for you. To start off, the Razer ProClick V2 Vertical clocks in at 150 grams. You compare that to something like the Razer DeathAdder V3 Pro, a competitive esports gaming mouse, and that weighs in at around 63 grams, less than half of the ProClick V2 Vertical. This thing is chunky. Between the weight and the design, this thing just isn't meant to be whipped around and flicked the way that other mice are designed to be. You are not going to see someone in a Counter-Strike tournament rocking one of these on stage. After using this for 2 weeks, this mouse is 70% productivity, 30% gaming. It's made for someone that works full-time throughout the week, but that also might like to grab some games on the side after work. You can totally play Call of Duty with this, or Oblivion Remastered, or Expedition 33. It feels great, packs in Razer's features like DPI customization and RGB lighting. It's got macros that can change depending on the game that you're playing or the program that you're running. And that's what makes this mouse so interesting to review. It's not a great mouse for gaming, but it's also not really meant to be. It's a great productivity mouse for editing, writing, browsing, emails that also happens to be good for gaming if you want to do a little of that here and there. Again, the Razer ProClick V2 Vertical is not a mouse I would seek out for gaming, but one that I might actually consider if you're looking for something that feels very natural for a ton of productivity, but that also lets you do a little casual gaming on the side. And it's really cool that this kind of thing in the market just exists. But those are just my thoughts after 2 weeks with the Razer ProClick V2 Vertical, by far one of the strangest and most surprisingly cool mice that I've ever actually had the pleasure of trying. So big thanks to Razer for the opportunity to go hands-on with one for review, and I would love to know what you think down below. Do you like the Razer ProClick V2 Vertical? How do you feel about this design, and would you want to give one a shot for yourself? I would love to know your thoughts. And hey, if you're new here, you like what you see and what you hear, hit that subscribe button for videos like this every week and gaming news shorts throughout the week to keep you in the loop. But I'll catch you on the next one.